The next installment in the closing out DCEU chapter is finally here with Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Hey everyone, Joe here from the Collection Compass, and welcome back to another home media unboxing. Today we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I want to say it's the 12th DCEU film. It's one of the first film of DC in 2023, and this does begin the final chapter, the closing arc. Kind of loosely, not really, for the DCEU. It's kind of weird by the time that this year ends, the DCEU will be complete in a kind of like not a really ceremonious way. You'll end in a whimper, but and I was actually very shocked to get into it like already that Shazam! Fury of the Gods came in to start off the year with a whimper, kind of similar to how 2022 ended out. And I'm very baffled by the fact of how the Shazam series has went, because like it's like a very loose trilogy. You have Shazam 1, you have Black Adam, then you obviously have this one, where Shazam 1, no one expected it to be that amazing. It didn't do that well in the box office, but it still made a pretty good stump of chain to make the Black Adam spin-off film, and then also this film. And then when Black Adam came out, and that was like very underwhelming for such a big marketing campaign sponsored by The Rock. And now with this one, which is like, okay, we'll get the team back together. It's the exact same team back from the first movie coming back to the second one, and then the second one came out, and I was just like, it was alright. I mean, this wasn't like, you know, as special as the first one. It just felt like this was a traditional, we're just going to go big on the sequel, but not really that much. Like, I understand what they were trying to do with the sequel. It just didn't deliver that well, especially when this was supposed to be part of the whole, like, the new phase 1 of the DCEU, as The Rock put it, even though he never considered this film or The Flash or even anything DC was making that wasn't related to The Rock. It's a long, complicated story for the DCEU in recent years. Thank God we're rebooting it in 2025. Thank you, James Gunn. So going into this with Shazam! Fury of the Gods, last time, when we did a home media unboxing, I did it about Quantumania. And I talked about how lazy Disney and Marvel got, well, mainly Disney, for its home media release for that film. Here, it's like Warner Bros. Was like, where the hell was this amount of, you know, marketing material when the film came out? Like, where was it? This is like, I think, the most amount of different variants of home media covers I've seen in a good amount of time. And I've been home media collecting for like a while now, seriously, in like the past recent years. And I will give this, Shazam! Fury of the Gods definitely gets a B+. A very well notable effort in like its home media release strategy. Like it literally went all out. It was a little bit short though. The film came out in mid-March. We're only like at the tail end of May, beginning of June, whenever this is getting posted. So it was a pretty quick turnaround considering the fact the film sadly is the lowest grossing DCEU film ever. With less than 150 million, which is like, that's embarrassing. That was like a pretty big, you know, L. That was like the biggest L I could see in the face of comic book history. And, you know, it's even shocking. I believe Morbius made more money than that, you know what, I'm not even getting into it. Let's get down to it, because otherwise I'm going to give myself an aneurysm, and I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot to talk about today. So starting out, we have the DVD. This is the basic edition of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Very surprised that instead of reusing the film poster, which we'll get to in a moment, they actually just did a reassembly with some, I haven't seen some of these shots before in the original poster release. So we see Shazam played by a very one of our own, Zachary Levi, with the villains, the daughters of Athena, I believe they're called. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. The Wizard and the rest of the Shazam family. Honestly, in terms of cover, this is honestly not that bad. It's not the worst. It's not the worst, but it's not the best I see. But definitely, I'll give them kudos for at least giving the DVD a little bit of a shake. Let's just not be lazy and just give it the film poster. Let's at least put some effort in there. The logo itself is the same as the original, so I appreciate the consistency. Nothing too crazy there. On the back, continuing this is the second comic book movie in a row where like there's no reviews, there's nothing. It's just the 3 iconic photos from the movie. One word can change everything, and that's about it. That really is about it. On the back, once again, continuing the recent tradition of like we're not putting reviews in these DVDs anymore. There's no reviews, just 3 images from the movie, the slogan, and yeah, of course. Actually, I forgot to mention this last time from the Quantumania release. There is no there's no special, what's the word, features this time around. The disc, which is pretty much almost the same style as the original disc from the first Shazam. It's just the logo with the other logo with the symbol, And that's just about it. In terms of grading the DVD, in my opinion, again, I will give them credit that they at least put some effort into it. I will give them appreciation that, like, you know, they're giving the DVD some love. Even they just recently re-released Shazam 1 again on home media. It's a different cover, it's a different poster, which I don't think I've seen when the film first came out back in 2019. So I'll give kudos to that, you know, they're putting some love to Shazam, even though this is probably going to be the end of Shazam for DC Films for a pretty while. So I do not imagine seeing Shazam on the big screen again for a very long time. And that's just sadly, just after this one, it's like, yeah, the audience isn't there right now for it. It's just not there. It really isn't. But I will give kudos to Warner Brothers Home Media for, like, giving the attention to the DVDs, which, yeah, I know DVDs are like, they're like quick to make. It's like, you know, 1, 2, 3, spit them out like, you know, like wildfire, you know, so to speak. But yeah, so I will give kudos there. Shout out to them for giving some love to my fellow DVDs. Okay, so now it comes like the in-between where, like, obviously I got the cheapest version, then I got the most expensive version. So what came in between? There's a lot of home media editions for this movie, so you definitely have your pick of the wagon for this one. Anything else beyond this is going to have this special Warner Brothers 100 logo because it is the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers as a company. So congratulations to them for making films for 100 films. Some amazing ones, some great ones, some good ones, some pretty shitty ones, to say the least, and all the films in between of those. So starting out with the Blu-ray does include basically the poster, like, so it's like, it's unavoidable. One of these editions was going to have the reused poster, and it had to be that one. It's almost the same thing. I think maybe the color scheme is a little bit different, like the same golden sheen as the DVD, so to speak. But this does have some more special feature. Well, and I don't know why I say some more. It does have special features. Thank the gods on that one. No pun intended. Next up, we have the 4K edition, which there's actually 2 of them this time around. Actually, no, I'm like, there's 3 of them. So sit tight for a minute. So the main 4K edition, so this is the basic one that you can find in all retailers. With that one, I think it's definitely for sure, I forgot, my bad. It is definitely a much more, another assembly of, like, you know, just the characters all over the place in the gold sheen again. And nothing too special there. That's just the generic 4K Ultra HD version. And then you have 2 separate editions. So Target has their own one, which basically includes another slip-on. So it's the same 4K Ultra HD version you're going to get, but it has a special slip-on. It's Zachary Levi's Shazam solo, the solo poster that came out during the promotion of the movie. And inside are these special art cards that you can collect. It's all the individual character posters that you can have in card form. Honestly, it is a cool idea. Target doesn't implement this idea always with their films. It's usually like, oh, when they have the opportunity, they will do it. So it's not that too often. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I feel like that's a pretty cool pickup in my opinion. And then we have the Icon Edition from Walmart. The Icon Edition is it's not the same in my opinion as the MCU ones, in my opinion. So I will give them credit where credit is due. It does have a different color scheme, but similar poses again. In terms of, like, picking between the 4K editions, I will give kudos more to the Target edition. I think that would be my pick if I had a choice to get anything in between that. It would be the Target edition. So I will give them credit to that. But honestly, again, once again, they're all different colors. They're all giving them different, you know, uniform outfit. Everything is different, so you get something special depending on the one you pick. So again, I will give, again, the highest of shadows, and once again at this point, that they've given some actual effort into this home media release. I'm pretty sure they did any cool, colorful art to make people buy this movie, because they still need money. At the end of the day, they still need a lot of money. And finally, we have the Best Buy 4K Steelbook. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think right now this is probably my favorite new Steelbook of the year. I think so, because, like, this is just so fucking cool. It's Shazam with the wizard staff, with the dragon behind him, epic pose, the logo in the middle. It has a nice gleam to it, which I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, you know, where the fuck was this emphasis during the movie? Where was it? I'm still very disappointed in that. The side logos this time is in white, but same text font. And in the back, you get to see the daughters of Athena, Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Zegger ready for battle. Also, kind of weird, like, they got, like, 2 very older actresses and then a very fresh face to, like, be sister, which I'm like, I'm guessing that got around. And also the dragon in the background, which I'm like, Pretty cool. Honestly, I will admit this is pretty cool. The inside is the disc are the same exact thing as the DVD one, so they're all in the same style. The inside we have Shazam and Helen Mirren's daughter Vifina talking to each other during like the fast food scene, the meeting of the movie, so to speak. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it works. I'll give them credit. It does work, and you know, I'll give it that front to say the least. As for the J card, again, to give a little bit more emphasis, a lot of the home media for this year from Warner Bros. Is going to have this sweet little 100 logo. I do like it. It is a different text font than I'm normal to. But again, you know, given that this is 100 years, you know, I'll give them like, you know, a pass on this. The J card on the back is the exact same thing, except this time it lists off all the special features that the film includes. Steelbook aside, like I said before, just a little bit ago, I think this is my favorite Steelbook cover so far this year. There isn't that I've collected. There's obviously been a bunch of Steelbooks already, you know, at this point in the year. But for me, in terms of like the ones I bought, which honestly, in terms of new releases, I haven't gotten that much. I've only gotten Quantumania, and I'm gonna pick up Mario. And I'll talk about Mario when we get to that unboxing in the future. I don't know when that's coming out, but still, I do believe, like, yeah, they knocked it out of the park. They really did a bang up job with this Steelbook, and I'm very impressed that they were able to, like, you know, give this film at least like as much crap, and I'll talk about this more in a bit. As much crap as this film has take, at least for the home media collectors, you know, they delivered, I think, one of the best unique DCEU covers since the Suicide Squad, which surprisingly that was almost 2 years ago, which I'm like, that is freaking crazy of how far time's come, in my opinion. But beyond the Suicide Squad, I think it's one of my favorite DCEU Steelbook covers that I've seen so far, in my opinion. I saw Shazam Fear of the Gods like a little under 3 months ago, which I'm like, I said this last time, that Quantumania felt too short. This felt even shorter. I felt like I just seen the movie in theaters. Now it's already in my collection. That's a pretty fast turnaround. Like, I'll say what I want. I'll say what I have to say. I thought Fury of the Gods was alright. I don't think it was anything to write home about. I thought it was enjoyable. I definitely had my fun. I definitely enjoyed my experience. You have to be aware that, like, this is kind of like, you know, I think it's common nowadays to have this argument about comic book fatigue, comic book movie fatigue specifically, that just having too much of one thing in a certain marketplace, eventually there's overcrowding, there's, like, you know, a certain quality, to say the least. I will probably say that probably Endgame, films like those, kind of like, you know, you set the bar super freaking high and you expect everything to be Endgame level. It's just not possible. It's not. You know, you're gonna have these types of films like Shazam 2, where it's not this end of the world deal. It's just a smaller story that focuses on the characters and like what the next chapter of their story is. I'll say that there's a lot of great elements to Fury of the Gods. It just, you know, combining all the pieces together didn't really work out, so to speak, and it kind of creates like this thing of like, this was supposed to be a movie that's supposed to set up future for the Shazam, you know, series, as well as, you know, showcasing that Shazam is going to be part of the larger DCEU, and none of that really is kind of happening, so to speak, you know, anymore. Like, we already know they're going to do a reboot. We know that certain characters will return, and then certain characters will still return, but they'll be, you know, with fresh faces, such as Superman, such as Batman. With Shazam is just, you know, with this film is like, you know, the money, it wasn't there. But it wasn't because of the character's popularity. I'm pretty sure there were fans who saw the first Shazam that were interested in the sequel, but just hearing this is just mediocre, that, you know, you could wait for this to be on streaming. That does impact, you know, word of mouth does happen. I mean, I heard more about Mario this year than any other movie, because that was the film that generally had so many people invested in. Shazam was just not a movie that people were invested in, because this was just okay. It was okay, but, like, you know, in a time period where, like, you have to be more conservative with your finances, you know, mediocre isn't as good anymore to, like, you know, make you spend a full price movie ticket at launch. It just isn't anymore. And, you know, that's a shame, because, like, this film was generally at least entertaining at times. Again, it's not perfect. I don't think, you know, there is such a thing as a perfect comic book movie. This certainly wasn't it. I was just a little bit bummed that, like, you know, like, there was just so much, you know, writing on this, that, you know, that this was supposed to be like another big movie, like at least making as the same as the first one, and it didn't. And it wasn't even that much of a big, you know, gap. It isn't like an MC movie that reached $1 billion or something that changed and they moved down to 800 million. That's not a big gap. It's not a big loss. But when you're coming off a film like, you know, the first film, which wasn't that great in terms of like the financial returns in you know, modern speaking, and then you have this sequel, it's like it's not a day of like, you know, damn, what the hell happened? Well, what really happened, so to speak. It's unfortunate that, like, you know, that sort of thing happens, you know. And at the end of the day, I always say this: form your own opinion. Go into it for yourself if you have the financial income. If you don't, then, you know, it's on Max. It's now in home media. There's plenty of different avenues now to watch it. And maybe, who knows, maybe it'll get a second life in the home media space, and maybe eventually Zachary Levi could come back. I'm keeping the door, we got to keep the door open. You know, you never really know. Even they don't know what the hell they're going to do with Shazam in the future. So you never really know. You know, we could be wrong. Like, he could be back as Shazam in the future. But right now, we just don't really know. But the movie side of things, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was an alright film. Nothing really to write home about, so to speak. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but I wouldn't, like, you know, say, like, it's a bad film. I just thought it's a movie. It's a comic book movie. That's all you really need to know. If you're bored for 2 hours and some change, go enjoy it. You know, that's all I gotta say about it. For the home media release, I'm gonna give it, like, the highest praise so far in this year. I think it has the best home media covers that I've seen in a while from DC, generally from films, because, you know, it's not every day you have movies that are getting, like, you know, a big treatment. It's not every day, you know. It's most times like, you know, slap this on, slap that on, slap the logo, bing, bang, boom, print them out, we done. We print as much money as we can. Honestly, it's great that they put a lot of effort and, you know, quality, you know, into, like, each and every cover. That everything's different. Everything has its own unique signature. Everything has its own unique identifier. Its own, you know, standout cover, and I appreciate that. You know, that helps with my DVD collection, it helps with my Steelbook collection, and definitely going forward, like, I just want more of that. You know, hopefully, once we get to The Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, you know, and maybe even Guardians, you know, in terms of, like, the model side of things, like, we will get relatively unique covers again. But I don't know, like, I say that every time, but, like, you know, when you get a Black Panther or a film like Eternals or something like that, where, like, you have so many unique, or Shang-Chi, like, you have so many unique box cover, but it's, you know, it's not everything, like, you know, like, fully transparent. It's not fully the same thing, you know, from every company. Every movie's different, sadly. I wish it was universal. I wish I could be excited about every single release. It's just likely it's just never going to be that consistent. It really isn't. I'm gonna have a field day with Mario in I believe next month or so. But I'm gonna have a field day with that movie. But regardless of until then, I think every single Fury of the Gods cover is amazing. I think, like, anything you purchase from this lineup of home media, you're going to be impressed by. You will get your money's worth in terms of, like, the cover and the art and everything. Of course, obviously, it goes to the age-old DVD. You just get the movie, and then you have to pay more and more money to get the special features. It is how it is nowadays. But what I can say is that, you know, that definitely just, you know, Warner Brothers really knocked it out of the park with this one. And hopefully it's the beginning of, you know, even better DCEU covers going forward to the rest of this year and the next. So that being said, I recommend this movie in terms of a home media collector. I hope you pick it up. Let me know in the comments below which edition did you pick up. I would love to have a conversation with you down below, as always. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been our Shazam Fury of the Gods home media unboxing. If you want to see more cool unboxings such as this one, go over to our official YouTube channel here at the Collection Compass, where we do MCU Steelbook unboxing, or just general, a lot of other Steelbook unboxing throughout, because, like, I have all this. I have all these Steelbooks up above me. We just posted a brand new video of our Steelbook wall, so go please check that out. You know, it's one of the better ones that we've done, and it just kicks off. This is part of, like, just another 100 to go. You know, once we get to 200, I'm just going to be, oh lordy lord. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring the bell, and of course follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other, and as always, peace out.